Welcome back. The revitalised National Youth Service Programme is inviting NPOs and non-profit companies to submit innovative proposals that can provide earning and learning opportunities for young people. In a statement, the Jobs Fund says 838 million rand has been provided through the employment stimulus to go straight from participants' pockets into the local economy. The fund is part of the comprehensive plan from the presidency to create now no fewer than 2 million jobs for young people within the next decade. For more on this, we're joined by Waseem Carrim, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Development Agency. Thank you very much for your time here on eNCA, Mr. Carrim. Now, first of all, just explain to us how this is going to work. How do the NPOs, submit to the agency, and what exactly are the rules around it?
Yeah, thanks so much. Good morning to the viewers as well. So I think the application criteria is pretty much outlined in the media statement, the frequently asked questions, and the term sheet. So let's start with how to apply. One can either log on to the NYDA website or the Jobs Fund website, where the link to the online portal, the system is fully electronic, where one can lodge an application. And there's also a full-time support line to guide any implementing agents who want to submit proposals if they need any assistance. We'll be doing a series of masterclasses as well to assist if anybody needs assistance, and NPOs can look out for that on our website as well. If we speak about the criteria, we're looking for implementing agents who either individually or working in consortium with one another can show us how they would meaningfully engage a minimum of 3,000 young people in activities which offer service to their communities, which offer quality experiences to young people, and also which increase the employability of those young people. The not-for-profit organizations have to have their compliance in order with the Department of Social Development and their National Treasury compliance as it relates to their tax affairs and their registration on the Central Supplier Database. So in the main, those are the main criteria that an implementing agent would have to meet. And obviously, we want creative proposals that really show engagement of young people, something that's very different for the youth of this country.
Now, you also say here in your statement that the NPOs and NPCs must demonstrate their own capacity to engage with 3,000 youths that have bank accounts.
Yeah, so I think a big question for us has always been the unbanked in South Africa. Yeah, and I think we've had many discussions about the financial inclusion of young people. So I think there's two elements to sort of employment transfers. One is increasing household income and allowing households the ability to afford things that they could not afford before. But generally what we've also found is that where you have financial inclusion of young people, where they have money in their accounts, they're able to leverage that money to better improve their lives. So, for example, many young people who have been engaged in service activities in the past are able to start their own small side hustles, and this increases their ability to generate sustainable employment for themselves in the long term. So I think financial inclusion is a big backbone of what we're trying to do. And you want to limit the sort of cash transfers that exist in the market at the moment. You really want to drive this message of financial inclusion, and that's why we would like implementing agents to be able to demonstrate that when they submit proposals.
Now, we know applications have been opened from the 29th of October and will close on the 25th of next month. But I just want to ask you, how are we going to make sure that these funds, 883 million is a lot of money. How are we going to make sure that these funds filter through to the people that, it's supposed to assist?
So the NYDA has partnered with the Jobs Fund on this program, right? And the Jobs Fund has a very strong track record of engaging the private sector, engaging organizations which are already engaged in employment type work. If you look at the Jobs Fund, they've existed for 10 years. They've leveraged match funding of about 5 billion. They've supported 200,000 employment opportunities, mainly for young people. But what's really great about the Jobs Fund as a success story in South Africa, it's its ability to contract strongly, as well as monitor and evaluate and ensure that there's quality reporting from the implementing agents. And when you have this, you have stronger program outcomes. So you make sure that the young person themselves are receiving a good programmatic outcome. In addition to that, we've spoken before about the National Pathway Management Network, SA Youth, and every young person will be engaged in the National Youth Service Program through the National Pathway Management Network, where is one of the criteria for working on the National Youth Service Programs. This allows us to be able to interact with young people, have a focus on what they're actually doing in these kind of programs, make sure that money is reaching them and that they are benefiting from these types of programs. But also, I think the one last point is to make that the recruitment of these young people is not based on patronage, but it's based on open, transparent mechanisms of recruitment.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for that. Waseem Carrim, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Development Agency.